So tell me the story I still need to hear. Tell me we're gonna make it out alive again. I need to know there's nothing left to fear. There's nothing left to hide. So will you look me in the eye and say we will survive?
Hey everybody, it's Chaplain Sal back for another coffee with the chaplain. Like I said, another coffee cup from Williamsburg. So my last video, I talked about the two stories that are typically preached on the Sunday after Easter, which would have been yesterday. The walk to Emmaus or doubting Thomas. So last video I talked about Thomas. I wanted to talk about Emmaus. The story of Emmaus, the walk to Emmaus, is the story of two disciples, Cleopas and an unnamed disciple who, this is on Easter Day. At this point, they don't know that Jesus is resurrected, so they're kind of defeated. So they're walking home to Emmaus, a town about 7 miles outside of Jerusalem. We know that because it says it in the Bible. So they're walking and they're, kind of sad, defeated. So much so that they don't realize that as they're walking, they're joined by a stranger. And the stranger asks them, so why are you so sad? And they say to the stranger, have you, where have you been the last couple of days? I mean, it's been all over Jerusalem. And he's like, what? And so they tell him about Jesus, who was crucified and he was supposed to rise again, and he hasn't shown up yet. So then Jesus goes on to tell these two disciples all about what happened. And yet they still don't get it. And so they get to a point in the road where it's now, the sun's going down, it's dusk, and they say, let's stop here at this inn and we'll take a break and we'll spend the night and we'll continue on in the morning. And Jesus keeps walking, or the stranger keeps walking. And they have to pull his arm, really firmly say, no, spend the night with us. It's dangerous. Back in these days, if you walked at night, you were probably going to be robbed by bandits. So they twist his arm, they convince the stranger to spend the night with them. So they go in and they sit down to have dinner. And it's not until this point when Jesus takes the bread and gives thanks and breaks it, what we would now consider communion or the Eucharist as Christians. Then they're like, holy crap, it's him. And they get so excited and he disappears, and they get so excited that they get up, and this is now, granted, nighttime, remember, bandits on the road, that they run back to Jerusalem, and they find the 12, and they find them in the upper room, and they say, we saw him. So when I normally preach this text, I preach it as I've preached it to a couple of churches that have gone through transitions with losing a pastor and beginning the process of finding a new pastor, or figuring out whether or not they'll survive as a church. So the point of the story, one of the key things is that the sense of journey, of going somewhere, and we can get so lost in the walking or the traveling that we don't notice what's around us, the strangers among us, the strangers who turn out to be God, especially the resurrected God. So we as a community, we as a country, we as a world, as a globe, are on a journey, and we're looking to find our way home out of this thing that we tend to forget who's walking with us, most especially God and our neighbors. You'll find God in our coworkers, the nurses, the CNAs, the housekeepers, all the staff who keep this building running, the staff who keep essential businesses open, the EMTs. God is with us, whether we see him or not, or rather, whether we can notice him, because we can maybe get so focused in what we're doing to keep this building running, to keep our residents safe, to keep ourselves safe, that we forget to look up and look around and find God. But God is with us, and he will continue to be with us, and he'll be with us all the way through. So I hope this helps. If it does, let me know. If it doesn't, let me know. We will survive.